They say that the best medicine is grown, not made. Here is where flavor meets healing, the Herbs Garden. From mint that cools your drink, to rosemary that flavors your tea, to basil that blesses your stew, these small leaves, big business. It all starts with how you grow them, how you take care of them, and how you cut them. The magic begins at the farm. Let's adventure the journey Herbs way. This is AMA Agriculture Made Attractive. My name is Salimo Wakilimo. Madam Grace, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I am fine. So we are at the propagation center, or is it? Yeah, it's a center for the basil, the herb that you measure in. Please help us understand the propagation journey of basil in a greenhouse.
Okay. Salimo, these are some of the things as a farmer you have to learn because at the end of the day, you're looking at how you maximize the facilities that you have and minimize costs.
Yeah.
So this is basil. Basil is, say, about 60% of the production that we do. It is actually our cash cow because this is not perennial. That means after a certain period, you have to replant it. And so the cost of propagation is also significantly high. And therefore, being a small scale, you could not say mid to medium size producer, we had to look for ways where we are doing the propagation in-house as opposed to buying from the big companies that do propagation. For example, just to give you an example, this plug alone will be 2 shillings and 60 cents or 3 shillings. You can imagine how many plugs you need in a greenhouse.
Yeah.
It will be 3,000 to 4,000, sometimes 8,000 in one standard greenhouse. So we learned the trick, we learned the art of doing propagation.
Yes.
And we do it so well because we have the expertise in-house. So you mix the cocoa peat in a certain ratio with peat moss, and we also use vermiculate. And that we have to have it in a certain pH so that it is not too salty. If it is the cocoa peat, you know it's salty because it comes from the coconut.
Yes.
So you have to measure and clean it and make sure you have the right pH. And once you mix that, then you plant the basil. Ideally, it's supposed to be 3 seedlings to 4 seedlings in each plug.
So each plug is now
This one. So
okay.
in a case where there was a mistake and there is 2 of this, so they will plant 2 of them like this ones.
Okay.
Yeah, in one hole.
Yes.
Because in one hole is supposed to be 4.
Yeah.
So this is one of the major areas where we have saved a lot of cost. So in the greenhouses, in this, you have to keep it in a greenhouse. The nursery, you can see it is foolproof.
Yeah.
It is a greenhouse. You have to have a net because you don't want a lot of direct heat. But it stays here for 28 days.
Yeah. 28.
28 days.
Since
From planting to the time now you're taking it for transplanting. And in the transplanting, where we'll speak more about when we're there, I will show you, then it is another 21 days. So in that 21 days, then it goes to the first cut.
Yes.
So here it is 21 to 28 days, depending on the zone that you're in.
Yeah.
In our area where the temperature is very even, we don't have very high spikes of temperatures or very low spikes, it's very moderate, then ideally we take 21 days comfortably to get the produce here. So we are constantly rolling propagation because we have to constantly roll production.
Yeah.
And there's a whole team that is trained to do this. There are girls who do propagation and there's a guy who does the feeding here and they have been trained for many years.
So how do you water them?
So the watering, if you go to the modern farms, of course, you'll find that they have overhead waters that are mechanized. But here, because we are managing small amounts, we use watering cans.
Okay.
We only have 2 people who are trained to water. Actually, I cannot allow anybody else to water except the 2 guys because they know the amount that you put. If you overwater, then you start getting dieback because of too much water. And if you underwater, of course, then you get uneven growth.
Yeah.
So we have 2 guys who are trained and they supervise the watering and they use the cans, showering, because it doesn't need a lot of water.
Yeah. So where do you get the seed?
Sorry, this is called sowing. Sorry, not propagation.
Okay.
Sowing is where you get the seed from Amiran. You buy Sweet Aroma 2. It is the one that most clients like. It is the one that has got weight. It is the one that has got the best flavors. So you buy Sweet Aroma 2 from Amiran and then you sow. When it is a seed to this, it's called sowing. If it is a cutting, you call it propagation.
Okay.
So the outdoors, we do propagation. But the seed, from seed to get to this, you do what you call sowing.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So you called it a plug.
Yes, this is a plug. One tray has got 442 plugs. 442 plugs.
Okay.
One tray like this has got 442 plugs.
So this is 442.
442.
Oh, wow.
So if you're going to buy this tray, for example, you'll buy 3 shillings times 442 for this tray alone.
Yeah.
So you must make sure that either we sometimes buy from the propagators, but in most cases we do it in-house.
So is it that they are going to a greenhouse? That is why you have decided you propagate or you sow in a greenhouse, or is it supposed to be done in a greenhouse from the word go? It is supposed. You see, germination is stimulated by heat. Yes. So that heat is very important to fast track the germination. Secondly, there is a reason why basil is grown indoors, because basil is eaten raw. Oh, wow. And basil, you have to control the environment that you're growing it in, right from the nursery. Yes. Because if you put it outdoor, then you can get things like leaf miner and what you call the quarantine pests. Leaf miner, you have the white flies, and then you transfer them in the tray to the greenhouse. The greenhouse. So then it beats the purpose of then planting it in a controlled environment, because you've already brought in the pests and diseases from growing it outside. Oh, yes. Secondly, you determine the quality by how tender it is. Yes. So if you give it the sun hardens it. Aha. So you have to keep it tender all the way from the beginning. But the main purpose of having it here is because you're growing it in a controlled environment. You're controlling the pests, you're controlling the diseases. 28 days later, yes, we take it to the... Correct. 28 days later, 21 to 28 days later, you transplant it into the How do you know? Is there sometimes when it's 28 days later and it's not mature yet? Yes, it is possible because of the way they did the sowing. Yes. So for example, if they put the hole too deep, because the hole is supposed to be on the surface, the seeds, which are almost pin size, that's why I tell you it's a technique. The seeds can be put too far in, which means the germination is uneven. Yeah. So some ziko juu, some ziko chini. So we encourage them to put them on the surface. So these girls that are working here have already mastered that art. Yeah. In the case where you have uneven, that means zingine zilitokea, zingine bado ziko huko chini. That means you have to wait until the others come up. Yeah. But yet these other ones are overgrowing. So they will come and select the big ones and transplant that and give that. But we don't encourage that, because that means then you've wasted the 21 days for this to give it much more time, simply because somebody went too deep in. Yes. Yeah? Yeah. So that is the conditions that we have. Stage 2 and 3 of basil farming, and we are here to meet Nancy, who is going to guide us on everything that happens during the basil farming in the greenhouse. Hi Nancy. Hi. How are you? I'm fine. Please tell us about your journey into greenhouse management.
My name is Nancy. This is panel 1. We are growing basil. At this stage, it is on stage 2. The other part is on stage 3. So this block is 3 weeks old. Now, after it reaches 4 weeks, that's the time we are ready for harvesting.
Before we get to harvesting, tell me, at what stage does it leave the nursery to come to the greenhouse?
Okay, we usually do propagation. Immediately you do propagation, it will take 4 weeks before it comes for planting. Yeah.
And then once it gets to planting, how do you plant it? I see you have raised beds. Yeah. So why do we raise the beds?
Okay, we usually raise the beds for filtration of water. That is to allow drainage and also proper management of the crop and growth. After propagation, you transplant it to the greenhouse. Yeah.
When you're planting, how do you know how you should plant it? Okay. What is the spacing?
The spacing, we usually take 15 centimeters from drip to drip. We take 15 centimeters. One plant to the other plant, we are using 15 centimeters. And for our plug, it should have 4 seedlings per plug. That is, if one dies, the other one will pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Export hubs don't forgive sloppiness. Grace and her crew are on the ground every day, weeding, watering, scouting for pests. These hubs are treated like gold because one tiny mistake could cost the whole order. Explain to me why we are harvesting them and then putting them in bundles of how many?
15
Why?
stems.
Yeah.
We usually put them in a bundles of 15 stems to prevent holding a big bunch, because you will get other people, they will try to hold a big bunch in a way that maybe you want to finish harvesting faster. So you have to control their holding.
Yeah.
So we decided to put a 15 stem in one bunch. At least we regulate their way of holding. Because if you can hold a big bunch, there is a way you can suppress these leaves.
Oh, and then they are damaged.
Yeah, they are
okay.
damaged.
Okay, so this is the best way to make sure they get to the pack house.
Yeah.
So it's not someone who needs them as they are.
No.
Or it's just a bundle
Yeah.
to make sure they are safe.
Yeah.
So once they get to the pack house, now they are sorted.
Yes. When they reach pack house, that's where now they do processing. They can cut at the spec that the customers need, and also remove maybe if there is any that has soil, has disease, has pest. That's where they will sort them.
So when you talk about the customer determines how you plant your basil or your crop,
Yeah.
do they also determine your water system and how you do the irrigation?
So for irrigation, we usually choose the drip irrigation. Reason being, it is below the crop canopy. So there is no way you will sprinkle water to the crop.
What are some of the diseases that affect, pest and diseases that affect basil?
Okay, for diseases, we have different diseases. We have downy mildew, we have botrytis, we have fusarium, and sometimes you can also get powdery mildew, but it is very rare.
Okay.
Okay, for the pest, you can get aphids, white flies, leaf miners. We have thrips, we have mites. Those are the main and the common pests that you can get.
So for diseases, let's talk about diseases. This crop here
Yes.
is the same as this,
Yes.
that and that.
Yeah.
So why is this not maturing like the other ones? What is happening to these two lines?
Okay, these two lines were mostly affected by fusarium. As you can even see, we have stunted growth and also some plants that have not fully recovered.
Yeah.
This was affected by fusarium disease.
What is fusarium?
Fusarium
what does it do to
disease,
the crop?
yeah, it is a soil-borne disease, mostly found on the soil, and also to favor its action for the crop, if you put a lot of water into your crop. So you have also to monitor the water so that you reduce the chances of fusarium.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one now it's recovering.
Yeah, this
Will
is
it recover?
Yeah, because this also they were affected like this one, but now you can see they have recovered.
So how do they recover? What is the recommendation?
Recommendation: we usually drench a fungicide, and also you reduce the moisture content. Yeah.
All right. So here I'm holding 3 crops
Yes.
that are affected differently.
Yes.
This one has something.
Yeah.
So everything is okay here
Yes.
until you're on the roots.
Yeah.
What is affecting the roots?
Okay, this one is affected by nematodes. Nematode is a soil-borne pest, usually found on the soil, and also it is more prone to the red soils. And you can see our soil is the red one.
Yeah.
So nematodes usually are found in the soil. So they feed on the plant's roots, making these nodes. These are root nodes, and this is how it shows.
So this is nematodes.
Yeah.
And how do you treat nematodes?
Nematodes we usually drench by nematodes and also nimbecidine, that is anti-nematicides.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one,
Yes.
what is happening to it? It
This
looks like
one-
the roots are good,
Yeah.
but then after the roots, before you get to the crop, something is happening. What's
Yes.
happening to it?
Okay, if you can see this one, this one was the method of harvesting is the one that affected this plant.
Okay.
So it was harvested. The person who harvested this, he make a big damage to the stem.
Okay.
So if you can see this one, this plant died this way up to the root, so it died halfway. This other one, this branch, it was not affected because it was harvested, then control measure were put.
Wait, so the dying of basil starts from up, not
Yeah.
from down?
It can start from up and also from down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this one is the same?
Yeah, this one was affected by botrytis and it ended up dying.
So how do you treat botrytis?
Botrytis, we usually spray fungicide, and for our fungicide, we usually choose the fungicide that are recommended by the country, because we usually go for global GABs. Yeah.
So there's something you've talked about when talking about pests.
Yeah.
Is this why we have blue and yellow things on the walls?
Yeah. That's
What
why
are
we
they?
have traps.
Oh,
The
the
traps,
traps.
yeah, this is a blue and yellow sticky traps. We usually use them to trap different pests. The yellow one, you can trap whiteflies, aphids, and leafhoppers. Then the blue trap is mostly specifically you can target trapping the thrips.
Harvest time, that's an art. You harvest early before the sun steals the oil. You use clean, sharp tools. You don't just cut, you select, because these herbs are not for local market, they are heading abroad. So would we say that this crop is actually mature enough for harvesting?
Yes, this mature.
So how do you tell that a crop is mature for harvesting?
First, you'll see the speck. You can see this. The color itself is very dark, dark green. Even the texture, you see it is tough, so the shelf life is okay. Then the other thing, you also check the strength of the strong shoots. If you see this, it is already strong.
This part of it?
Yeah. We usually harvest the top part.
Only?
Yes,
Oh,
the top
wow.
shoots,
Okay.
these ones.
So can I harvest?
Yeah.
And what you harvest here is that, you see?
Yes.
At that joint. Because this then is the next shoot that comes in.
All right.
So you harvest bunches. I'm a bit slow. You can see that
Others are harvesting
others
very
are
fast.
harvesting very fast because they are trained.
Yeah.
So you get your 50 grams like that, and you batch it here with your rubber band. Give me those two.
Yeah.
You batch it with your rubber band here, and yes, give me that. Let me show you that. Yes, then you batch it like that. So this is what you get. Now, you remember I told you this is sweet aroma too.
Yes.
You can smell. Iko na harufu
Mzuri sana.
So it's got a very good scent.
Yeah.
And secondly, you can see the size of the leaf.
Yes.
It is bigger. The other one, the other alternative, they call it the aroma one, has got smaller leaves. But for a farmer, you're selling by kg. So you want something that is heavy.
Yeah.
So this is what you get.
Wow.
Yeah. This is what you get. Yeah.
So
Now,
this stays how long here before you start
this
harvesting?
one we'll harvest every week. It's like sukuma or tea. Let's use tea as a good example. You see, with tea, once you harvest, on Monday you must come back and harvest again.
True.
Same thing with this basil. After 7 days, this must be harvested again.
Wow.
Because if it passes the 7 days, then it will flower. When it flowers, then it tells you it is aged, and it will not be as succulent as you expect it to be.
Yeah.
Quality of basil is how tender it is, because it's eaten raw. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it is put in salads, in pizzas, and also sometimes when you're cooking, you put it in food like dania.
Okay.
But in most cases, in Europe, there is no sandwich you'll get without basil.
And
There's no salad that will be served without basil.
Uh-huh.
In Italy, of course, they use it to do pesto,
Yes.
which is used
Pastel.
for spaghetti with cheese.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
that is how we sell the basil.
So how long is it supposed to stay here? Like, you see, after we have left once we transplant, before you do your first cut,
Yes.
how long is it supposed to stay on the?
So once you transplant, then you have 21 days, you do the first cut. From there, every week you do cut, until the worst that you can do is cut number 7.
Oh wow.
After 7, again, you're back into the nursery and the cycle. Other countries like Middle East, although they're not large consumers of this, they can take up to cut 8, 9, 10. But in Europe, they like up to cut 7, 8, maximum 8.
8.
Yes.
Do you intercrop?
No.
Do you crop rotate?
Yes, we do crop rotation during the low season. So in the low season, you'll find that we do mainly products that are going, a crop that is going to reduce the nematode levels.
Yes.
Well, of course, so that then you manage in the high season, then you're back into production. But the only challenge we have will be nematode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is that season?
That is high season for herbs, of course, in October, November, December, January, February, March.
Wow.
That is when they have winter there.
Oh,
and they're not growing there.
yes.
We grow for them.
Yeah.
Now it's off season, but you see we are still harvesting
Yeah.
because the orders are reduced, but they're not as high as
In the high season.
Yes.
So
we are still in production. So we rotate the greenhouses in the low season.
yeah.
Where we have some in production and some we are planting things like kunde, we are planting other things like mustard seeds,
Yeah.
all those things that fix the soil and reduce the nematode levels.
This is very fragile. It's a
Yes.
very fragile crop compared to other herbs.
Yes.
What do you do to make sure before it reaches them, it still reaches them? When you are growing for export, the bar is high. Everything from spacing to soil to hygiene must be on point. Basil needs warmth and rich soil. Oregano wants space. Rosemary, don't drown it. Grace and team knows the drill and follows it to the letter.
So the outdoors, we have thyme, rosemary, tarragon, oregano, mint.
That is
Those
outside.
are the main ones that are planted outside. Basil is grown inside. This one is grown outside. This is perennial, meaning ukipanda once, then it grows for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow.
In fact, when I started this farm in 2017, I am still sending the basil, the rosemary that I planted in the other block.
Oh, wow.
So it is perennial and it stays forever.
So this one will stay here for as long as you want it to stay, unless you want to change.
Unless you want to change it.
Okay.
If you grow it well and you maintain it, because every time you cut, you bring it down. Every time there's an order, it's brought down. So like you see here, this has been harvested already.
Yes.
So this was not ready. So in this order, these ones will come down. So it keeps coming up and down. So you'll have it like this for as long as you can.
So is that just for rosemary or even oregano, mint, and
Even thyme, thyme perhaps may not go for as long as this one. These ones can stay, you can even stay forever. Mint can give you 2 to 3 years or 4 years. Oregano and tarragon you can replace every year. We do replace every year just that you maintain productivity.
Yeah.
Mint stays forever because mint, you know, even at home in Ushago, it's grown. As long as you water it, it sprouts back.
Yes.
So it is perennial. Yeah. And here, like the basil, once you cut it, because it is a shrub, then it grows again.
Is there a
So
way you
this
have
is-
to harvest it?
This is how we harvest it. So they come with the scissors, of course not by hands. They come with the scissors and they harvest a bunch like this one.
Okay.
And this is what goes to the client
Now as it is.
as it is. So this bunch, the client will tell you, I need a bunch of either 30 grams, 50 grams, 100 grams. So in the pack house, they will grade it and bunch it to the size that the client wants. Either 30 grams or 50 grams or 100 grams, but then it's packed in a 1 kg box.
Okay.
Yes.
So how for basil,
Yes.
it takes very short time before it gets to, like 10 minutes it withers.
Yes.
This
one will not wither, but it also needs to be cold,
Oh.
to be refrigerated, because it blackens, because it has a lot of oil content. So like tea, you know,
Yes.
majani chai.
Yes.
Majani chai, if it stays for long, it starts blackening.
Yes.
It is oxidate. It's called
Oxidizes,
oxidizing.
yes,
Oxidizing.
yes.
The same thing happens to this. So you must also manage the temperatures. And in fact, this one, because it requires lower temperatures than basil. So in our cold rooms, for this ones, the outdoor ones, they require 5 degrees. The basil requires 12. So they will also start oxidizing,
So for basil,
blackening.
okay,
yeah.
this one will oxidize.
Yes,
so it will
blackening,
start
yes.
blackening
Yes.
if that temperature is not as
Yes,
low.
yes.
Now for basil, you propagate, you sow your own seeds.
Yes.
For this,
For this one, we propagate.
okay.
So this is what is called propagation, where we take this one, you put this one in rooting hormone, you know? You put this one in rooting hormone, and then there's some chemicals that you use, and then it starts growing.
Yes.
And this is what is transplanted.
Wow.
Yes.
This crop and that.
Yes.
Would you say the two of them? Would you feel like this is which is your favorite, or both of them you give them attention as they require?
You give them attention as they require, because the clients that we deal with look for a farmer who has got a basket. So that, like, you go to the market, when you
Yes.
go to Mama Mboga, you need to buy sukuma, you need to buy kitungu, you need to buy tomatoes,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you'll not want to go to one person and say, sina nyanya. You want to go to the person who's got everything you pick in one place.
Yes.
So the main herbs, we have them and we grow them.
Yes.
Then we're able to give the client the basket.
It's not just farming, it's a business. Herbs are small, but the market is big. And with the right team, the right care, and the right standards, your farm can be global, just like Karakuta Fresh Produce. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how herbs leave the Kenyan soil to global shelves. This is AMA Agriculture Made Attractive. My name is Salimo Wakilimo, the voice of agriculture, the queen of AgriTours.